What's up guys, today we're gonna carry on with our Spotify clone and we're probably just gonna style the rest of the components since we have already programmed the front end layer or front end since we have already programmed the front end structure, so to speak. So we'll probably just do some CSS styling today, and yeah, let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is essentially style the player. So what we want to do is we can actually collapse these two because we don't need that, and we have already made the music player, so we're gonna style that. I think I'm actually just gonna check if we have already styled everything in the main container. We might not have done that. Let's see. Okay, so we're actually gonna carry on with the audio or the main container styling. So we want to type dot audio lists, dot songs, dot song, dot image box, and in here we want to type the width should be 45 pixels, the min height or min width should also be 45 pixels. 45 pixels, and the height should also be 45 pixels. So we will essentially get square unless we want a circle, but then we have to add border radius, which we will do. It's gonna have border radius, and I think I forgot some. No, never mind. So it's gonna be 0.5 em, and if we save that, nothing's happening. That's totally fine. And now we want to style the image in the image box. So we're gonna copy this, paste it here, and type image here. And the width here is gonna be 100%, and just like that. And the height should also be 100%. So it's gonna be the total height and width of the image box we just styled, and the object fit is gonna be cover as well. So do that. Everything seems fine, I think. And now I want to style the audio list. I'm just gonna check the component here in the inspector just to see where the audio list is in fact. So it's in here, and the reason why this is not displaying is because we probably don't have any. We have the title, we have the song container, and the music player. Alright, so it doesn't really display anything in the song container, so let's check that out. So we navigate to main container.jsx, and the song container is in fact in audio list. So let's go and check on audio list. So here we have song container, and it should actually loop over all the songs, and the songs is in fact a constant, which is gonna be a list. And the list is not displaying. Interesting. Okay, so the list is here. The default state should be list as well. We can actually just do this, I think. Let's try to do this and see if this works. And now we get an error. That's fine. Remove that. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm just testing some things. So forget what I just did. Let's go and check out songs list. So songs list is here, and we essentially just export the constant lists. I'm just gonna check out with the course code or the source code, so to speak, and see if this is in fact correctly imported. So let's check. It is also you might want to change. I think I know the reason. It's because this is a JSX file. We actually want JavaScript file. Let's see if this works then. Did it compile? It did. Interesting. This should be a JavaScript file, by the way, and we are in fact exporting it correctly. So it's a list equal to that. Very nice. Let's see if we actually destruct it or don't destruct it. So let's go to audio list and check that. So we actually destruct it here. I will check if that is in fact correct. It is. Okay. Interesting. So that should actually work. Is it something we forgot in the use effect hooks? I don't think so. Nope, not really. I thought we had more than one use effect hook. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Yep, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe this isn't... That's actually not the problem. Interesting, okay. Set main song, that's the for the music player, so that should be fine. And we are in fact doing the correct way here, yep. This should be a parentheses actually. Now we get huge errors, that's totally fine. Let's see, it should be down here. This should be like this. See if this is the problem. That was the problem. Very nice, okay. That's great. So that's the problem essentially. And we just fix that. So let's carry on with our styling essentially. Okay, so we're gonna carry on with the image box and the image because I don't think we are actually done with it, never mind. But we're gonna style the section of it. So what we wanna do is essentially just copy these three and do dot section. Very nice. So the section is essentially gonna have display flex, and the width is gonna be 100%. Let's see if this is nice. Very nice. So, oh, we just hit on a freaking. Okay, the reason why this is happening is because we actually clicked on a song and set the music player. And we haven't styled the music player, so it's obviously that this is gonna be a huge image. But if we refresh the page, this won't be a problem. So as you guys can see, this is in fact styled a little bit, yeah. So that's great. We also have a scroll bar here. This will probably disappear. So that's fine. Let's style the song name. So in the section we actually want to style the song name, and I just forgot the dot. So it should be .audio list, and here it should be .song name, just like that. And inside of here we want to have a display of flex as well, just like that. And justify content, which is gonna be between, or space between actually, and align items center. That's great, and the width is gonna be 15%, or 50%, I mean not 15. So that's very nice, yep. And now we want to change the song span, which is inside the song name. So we're gonna do copy the whole thing and type .song span. So here we want to have a margin left of 0. For some reason it didn't really compile the code correctly, and we also want a font size of 50 or 12 actually. 12 pixels. Very nice. And it looks quite crappy at the moment, but that's fine. Now we want to style the hits, so copy this line here and do .hits. And inside of here we want a display of flex as well. We also want to have a margin left of auto, so it's gonna push everything as much as it possibly can to the left. If you say that, it will in fact push the 4 to the left. Nice. And align item center, so we're gonna center all the items. Just like that. So it's all in the same line. Great. Now let's style the p tag in hits. So we copy this line and do just p. Not the dot p, just p. And the margin here is gonna be a bit different. It's gonna be 0, 20 pixels. Yep. And now we want to style the child of the p. So just copy this line here. And this is gonna be colon nth child. So it's essentially this. And this should be 1, because the p tag only have one child. And that sounds a bit weird, but That's how it is pronounced in the programming world or tech world. Nice. And now we want to style the icon in favorites. So essentially you copy this line here and paste it, and also do dot favorite, and I'm gonna try to spell this correctly, which I think I did, and this is gonna have an I because it's the icon we want to style. So the color is gonna be hexadecimal color of 49 E12E, and this is also very important, so we're gonna overwrite that color, and if we save that we will have probably a green color somewhere. Okay, and we also want to have a transition of all and 0.3 seconds, and the cursor is gonna be pointer, so we're gonna fix that as well. Now we want to style the song's hover effect, and this is gonna be a bit tricky, but that's totally fine. So we're gonna do dot audio list dot song dot songs colon hover, and we also want to type dot audio list dot songs hover, as we did before, but also dot song dot section dot song name dot song span. And in here we want to have a color of white color, so it's gonna be F1 F1 F1, and we also want to have a transition here as well, which is gonna be 0.3 seconds and all, but we type it in this order, and it's gonna be seconds here, otherwise it won't happen, and the cursor is gonna be pointer as well. So it's gonna type pointer, just like that. Now you can see that if we hover this, it turns white. Very nice. Now we want to style the image box, and this is also going to be a hover effect when we hover the mouse or the cursor. So it's going to be dot audio list dot songs hover dot song dot image box and image. So we're gonna essentially create an animation for the image. So it's gonna be 1.2, and the transition is gonna be transform 0.3 seconds, and we want to make it smoother, so we're gonna add a cubic bezier, and this is gonna be 0.175 and 0.885 and 0.32 and 0.2275. So that's all. And if we hover the image, it in fact increases. Or in fact, if we hover the whole song, it increases. So that's very nice. Now we're gonna add some media queries, so it's gonna be somewhat responsive. So we can type media screen and then parentheses max width, and this is gonna be 550 pixels. So if it's smaller, then this style will in fact take place. So we're gonna do dot main container and change the min width to not none but 300 pixels. And depending on how you want to code this application, you can use different metrics and different values, so it actually fits with the purpose for your own application or your own Spotify clone or your own media player. It's totally up to you. And you can also, we should also style the breadcrumb, which is dot content dot breadcrumb, actually the p tag in the breadcrumb, and this should actually have a font size of 12 pixels. 12 pixels, just like that. And the reason why we won't see any changes here is because we have to make the screen smaller. and that's totally fine. If you actually want to see your changes in your code, please make the screen smaller, because that will change in fact the styling with the media queries we are currently programming. Okay, so now I want to style the icon in the breadcrumb, so we're gonna copy this line here and just type I. And here we want to have a font size of 14 pixels. Nice. Now we want to style the h2 tag in the name, and this essentially correlates to .content, .artists, .left, .name, and then h2. And in here we essentially just want to change the font size, which is gonna... oh, I'm gonna turn off my phone. Jesus. Okay, nice. So it's gonna be font size of 25 pixels. Just like that. Nice. And now I want to change the a tag in the right div, or the div that has the class name right. So we want to type .content, .artist, .right, and it's gonna be a space between those, and a. And in here we want to add a padding of 5 pixels and 15 pixels. Nice. And we also want to have a font or a new font size, which is going to be 12 pixels. And also we're going to add some margin to this, and this is going to be 0 and 10 pixels. Now I want to style the menu lists, and we're going to style the individual items essentially. So this is going to be .menu list, UL, and LI. And LI stands for the individual item. So we're gonna do just a small margin change, and this is gonna be 5 pixels here as well. So it's gonna be 0, 5 pixels. And now we want to style the a tag inside of the individual item. So we're just gonna copy this and type a here. And this is gonna have a font size of 14 pixels. And now we want to style the p tag inside menu lists, and this is in fact gonna have .main container as well. So we specify that because it's the menu list in the main container and not generally the main menu list. Great. Okay, so now we want to style the p tag. So we want to copy this line, or just this part of the line, and do and add a p to it. And this is gonna have a font size of 12 pixels. Nice. And now we want to style the icon, so we're gonna copy this line here and do add just an I. And this is gonna have a font size of 10 pixels. Very nice. And now we want to style the span inside the p tag, so just copy this line without the I and come down here and just type span. And this is gonna have a margin left of 0 pixels and font size of 10 pixels, just like that. Oops. We also want to have a text align, and this is gonna be center, and also a display block as well. Nice. Now we want to style the main container, or the menu list actually. So we're gonna copy this line without the p and the span. And the reason why I'm copying it is because it's just a lot faster than typing it, so it'll save you guys some time. And it's gonna be padding of 10 pixels and 15 pixels. Now I want to style the audio list, so we're just gonna do .audio list. And we want to add a padding of 10 pixels and 5 pixels. Very nice. And this is still inside the max of 550 pixels. Okay, very, very nice. Now I want to style the section. So we're gonna do .audio lists, .songs, .song, .section. And here we want to have a flex direction of column. now we want to have change to the song name. So we can essentially just copy this line here and do dot song name. And the width here is gonna be 100%. And also we want to also change the hits. So copy this line without the dot song name and do dot hits. And here we want to have a margin left of 5 pixels. Actually 0, never mind. And we want to have a margin of, or a margin top of 5 pixels. And a justify content with a space between. So we're going to be space between, just like that. Nice. Now that media query is done, we want to add another media query, which will in fact be used for a larger screen. So this is going to be media, screen, and max width again. But this time we want to add 950 pixels to it. And this will in fact just change the banner. So we are gonna do dot banner with a capital B. And the height is gonna be 240 pixels. And this is also gonna be important. So I want to add that. And as you guys can see, the banner in fact decreased its size. So that's very good. And the position is gonna be relative. Because these elements here is in fact not in the banner. So we're gonna add that. Position relative. So if we add that, the text should probably... Okay, never mind. So if I increase this, now this will in fact be outside of the screen, but that's fine. Okay. Okay, so for some reason, the text here doesn't really... I think I know why actually. If we go into song list and change... Actually not song list, it's gonna be audio list. And change the 1000 here to maybe, say for example 200. It will change... I can say 2 then. It's because we haven't styled hit. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we have to style hit. Let's see. I can actually just do this by myself, actually, and it's pretty much, it's quite easy. So scroll up to hits here, and this should in fact, but if we look at... Okay, so the P tag is in fact hit. Okay, so we just want to add some more styling to this P tag, and this should have a display of flex as well. Just like that. Boom. Now you guys can see it looks a lot better. And we also want to have a flex direction of row, but this is in fact the default value, so we don't necessarily need to add that. It will still work without it, but it's a lot easier to understand if you write it in the code. So let's see. As you guys can see, the icon here is in fact not, it's not a space between the P, and that's because it is inside the P tag. So what we want to do is add a spacing between this text here and the I tag. So how do we do that? We essentially just go to where we style the I tag, which should be in the P. And if we check, we don't actually have that. So we will copy this line of code here. And yeah, copy this line of code and add an I to it and say just margin right, maybe like 2 pixels for example, and boom, we will actually add more. We will add more. Okay, nice. That looks a lot better actually. So now we have some spacing between those. Let's see. We also have the hashtags, which I don't think it's necessary. I might have actually just missed some styling here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm currently just going through the source code, or the original code, so to speak, because this doesn't really look right. If you expand maybe it actually looks, no, it doesn't. Okay, because if you expand the window, it doesn't really change. Okay, interesting. So, but let's check in audio list. So the hashtag should essentially, it is this count here. So what we want to do is essentially style this here, and it is in fact in songs. So what we can do is go to audio list .css, which is in main container, and go to .songs here. It's in fact up here. So we do have display flex here, and so that should be in fact flex direction of row. So that's totally fine. But for some reason the hashtag is in fact up here, and that's probably because the width is not as great as we need it, or as big as we need it to be. So what we can do is essentially just see where, in which div does the song in fact being in, and that is in song container. So if we go to song container, and as we see, we haven't really specified the width. So let's do that. Let's say 15%. Let's say 100%, never mind. If we do that, it is because... Interesting. Okay, so if we expand this, it doesn't really change. Okay, so the width is not a problem here. It is maybe the... Let's see. Let's go to the inspector and see this. Okay, so the song name is in fact in here, but it is in the section. Now the count is in fact outside of the section. So the section is fine. The song name artist can be actually changed. Let's do this and type in the inspector and see. Okay, so it's the span. The span contains of the song name and the artist, and so it's in this song name. So let's go to audio list of song name here. It's in here, in fact. Okay, interesting. I will actually collapse this so we can see all the code. And the span contains of the artist name, which is this. But we also have an icon in here, and this is probably the headphones. So it's in hit and I. Okay. And that's essentially is the P tag and I. So we want to add some margin left to the headphones, which is going to be the I tag. So let's go to we have to go to, let's check this again. It's inside the hits. So let's go to hits here, and we have the P tag and the I, and we have margin right. So we also want to add a margin left here, and this is going to be, for example, 10 pixels. I don't think we need more. Very, very nice. Okay, so this looks fine. And if we check this, we have in fact displayed a huge image here and also highlighted the heart. So that's really good. But we have an hashtag here, and we want that inside of this. We also want to add some margin left to the span, I think, as well, because the artist here is too close to song name. So let's see where the span is, and it is essentially the span inside of the P tag. And I think we don't actually style that, so let's add that here. So it's gonna be .audio list. We can actually just do this instead. We copy this whole line here and type span, and I'm just gonna double check to see where the span is, just for the just to be sure. And it's actually .song name, so we want to it's actually not hits, it's the song name. So let's see, .song span, does that have, that has in fact, okay, so that's the block of code we want to add. So this door, it's in fact saying margin left is 0, but I want to add 10 pixels to it. Very nice. So that's very great. Okay, so this looks fine right now. And let's check if we can do something about hashtag. The hashtag is essentially in count, and the count is inside of the song container. So we want to style the count inside of the song container, and we actually don't do that. So let's do that. Now, since the count, we could actually just do this instead and change this location here inside of the section, I think. Yeah. So let's put it in the first of all the divs here and do that. Now this will essentially probably put, yeah, very nice. That's exactly what I want. So what we want to do now is essentially add some margin right to this. So let's do that. So it's inside the section, and we want to go to, what is it? It is, might want to save that as well. So it's song.section. Okay, so song.section, and it's here, and we want to style count. So copy this line here and do .count, and in here we want to add some margin rights. So say a margin right of 10 pixels, for example, and boom, that looks a lot better. And if I extend this, we have in fact all the text we want. And if I do this, this will look a bit weird because we haven't added a lot of media queries, but that is fine. So we can remove this inspector, and I think this is in fact done. The audio list is in fact already styled, or we actually styled it. So let's go to the music player. And this, or I will check if we can do that, for example, because the video is already quite long. So let's see if we can in fact style the music player in before the time is getting too large. Okay, it's a lot of styling here. So I will probably end this here because the video will be too long. But I will make sure that I post in a quite short of interval, because I will be gone for a week and I won't be able to post anything. So I will definitely want to be done with this project before. So yeah. So if you enjoy this, then that's great. And if you want to learn more about React and styling and JSX and JavaScript and essentially just front-end development, then please stay tuned to the channel, and I will greatly appreciate it as well. But anyways, have a great day, folks.